The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ. I didn't think you were there.
It is Wednesday. It's Wednesday in the rib. After a holiday Monday, we missed you guys. So let's get right into it. Of course, we had a council meeting last night, but let's get into the COVID.
Okay, total Massachusetts cases is 633,675. New cases was 968. Total deaths is 17,138. New deaths is 3. Bristol County is 63,443. And that's how it is.
And of course, there's more controversy going on about the vaccine and everything else. But hey, it is what it is. And I guess the big news is the Derek Chavin case is over for now. So that's we lead with a national story, and then we can get to the council. But I think it's important that we make a comment that we were paying attention to the national scene, and obviously you could not avoid it if you had your TV on yesterday. So the verdict has been rendered, but it's not over. It won't be over for a long, long time, whether it's riots because they're never satisfied or because of the appeal based on our Congress thinking that they now can also control the judicial branch of government. So that was, this trial was a stark reminder of how screwed up we've become, that people think they can make demands of the judicial system. The judicial system is supposed to be a neutral and separate arm of government, and they are supposed to be free to make decisions based on the law and only the law, not political ramifications or anything else. Because whether you're guilty or innocent, you are supposedly constitutionally guaranteed to due process and the presumption of innocence until proven guilty, regardless of who you are. Once you're found guilty, you're guilty. But they don't even pretend that there's any due process or any kind of process except getting what they demand. So if they don't like you, you're guilty until you're executed. And if they like you, you can do anything you want. But look at Maxine Waters. They're doing what they did. Remember a while ago, somebody made some ridiculous statement a year or so ago or two, and the Dems spun it by saying, "Oh, it was just a poor choice of words."
Right.
But if somebody they don't like said it, it would be insurrection. It would be this. It would be that. They'd be getting thrown out of Congress. And this is what's wrong. You can't. We're supposed to have laws. We're supposed to treat everybody equally. If they can have due process, everybody can. And whether you agree or disagree with what happened in the trial, and the verdict has actually become irrelevant. What's relevant is the fact that in this nation is now a third world country. This is mob rule. We don't have laws anymore. Because if the laws don't fit the mob starts burning things down and attacking people. That is not America. America has to be run by laws. And as an individual said, who was a very smart guy from the Hoover Institute, he said that America, and he made a very good point, America is the only multicultural experiment that has worked up till now. And he said the reason is there are other countries that have a melting pot, so to speak, but it's not like America, because all those countries keep the minority ethnicities and races in check by the threat of violence, by totalitarian law. America was the first place that we had a heterogeneous, not a homogeneous culture, and made it work. And why did it work? And this is what he said, that we put the fact that we were Americans above our ethnicities and colors. That being an American and being part of this country and living by its laws were the most important thing. But it seems that that is gone now. And if it continues like this, we will be like the Roman Empire. We will be a third-rate country running around like a banana republic, and like Russia. We're not going to be like China, because China is China. And Russia, yeah, well, they've got their eye on the ball, and, they're totalitarian and they're brutal. But the fact is that, Russia now is, the only thing Russia right now is they still have military power because they got a slew of nukes that they can point at people, and they have an army that is still fairly formidable. But as far as economically, their economy is smaller than the economy of Texas.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen to America, because it's out of control.
Well, America at its best, that's for sure. People will hopefully understand that, what they have in this country is the best this country is going to give them. And by looting and pillaging, they're not going to make this country better. They're just going to make this country worse. And, that's the thing that people need to realize. It's a hard thing to learn.
I think most of them do.
Yeah, but it's still a hard thing for people to learn.
The fools. Well, it's not the majority. That's the problem. It's the minority backed by the majority money, because they control the narrative. They control everything. They control the language. And that's what's happened. Biden just sent down a whole new change in language for immigrants. You can't be illegal aliens. You can't call them an alien. You can't call them illegal. So they changed the language and make it more acceptable. And the thing is that, listen, they're all, people can't be that stupid about how this country is, because there are hundreds of thousands of people of all colors. The people that these people say are being discriminated against, climbing over walls, swimming across the Rio Grande to get here. The old saying, the grass is always greener. Well, these entitled millennials that have been brainwashed in colleges think this place is so bad. Let them do the reverse. Nobody's going to stop them from going south over the Rio Grande.
That's right.
Let them go to Guatemala and Ecuador. If this country sucks so bad that everybody in the world's trying to get here, and you think that they're stupid for trying to get here, well, go backfill the holes that they left in their countries. I mean,
there you go.
That's all I've got to say about it, because if it's that bad, well, leave.
Yeah, but you and I both know they're not going to leave because they'll lose their social service programs, which millennials live on. They live on social service handouts. They can't live without them. And that's what the United States is now. The United States is nothing but a socialist republic. And that's a sad thing to say. but that's what we are.
That's
and that's
right.
where we're going. And
now
I mean,
we're talking about welfare.
Yep. Now that we're talking about welfare, the city of Fall River.
let's go to the council meeting. Yeah.
Oh God. Last night was unbelievable. It was brutal. I mean, the pins wouldn't even help. But
I'm
again,
surprised you can see today after sticking those pins in your
know.
eyes.
Again, my applause goes out to Michelle Dion and Sean Kadim. Very good questions. Very good points to make. And the question now is, where's all the money? Now, I sent a letter in suggesting that they maybe put aside the bonding for the water pipe project, and based upon the fact that the Recovery Act money could cover that project because it's water infrastructure. Okay. They read the letter, and then people started asking questions about it. And I love the answer Mary Sahada got. It should be covered by the Recovery Act money. But we don't know because we haven't received guidance from the Treasury Department. And until we receive guidance, we won't know what will and will not be covered. So we have to wait until we get that guidance, which is probably not going to come until May. So the project might be covered if we bond now or may not. And as a matter of fact, what they put in the last 3 bonding proposals that went out, they put in a 1-line caveat. Subject to funding from federal and state grants and funds so that they can pay it off. But if I'm an investor and I buy a Fall River bond, which, shoot myself in the head for that. My question is, do I want to invest in that bond? Because all of a sudden, the investment goes out the window if the city can pay it off with Recovery Act money. So there's no investment for me. So do I want to do that?
Yeah. Listen, when this city starts talking about money, we remember we hearken back to a meeting ago when the school department, Mark Costa, said we've got to generate income. We can't generate income because we don't sell anything. This isn't a business. This is a government. We don't sell widgets. We don't sell baked goods, or we don't have a restaurant. We are dependent on taxpayer funding, and that's the way it is. So what in lieu of taxpayer funding can we do to generate money? It's all taxpayer in one form or another. Bonding. And now they're going to go out and bond. But does anybody ever look back and see if they're actually doing what they said they're going to do? Now they're saying, well, we could pay it with this money, but we're going to get a bond anyway, just in case. But now they're going to get the bond, and then they're going to get the money. And what are they going to really do with that money? This is why we get back to my favorite word, that expletive that nobody can say. Are you going to swear that F word?
Are you going to swear that F word? Are you going to say that F word again?
That's right, the F word, fiduciary. Fiduciary. And it is the F word, and it is also forensic. Forensic audit, the 2 F's, the double F, F square. Fiduciary responsibility and forensic audit. Does anybody remember a while back somebody exposed that horrifying fact that we weren't paying the bond, all we were paying was the interest?
Yep.
Remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And so did anybody know that before it was discovered? No. Did anybody know we had 5 accounts that were dormant for 25 years before it finally broke? 25 years they couldn't find those accounts. Nobody knows where the money is. they only accumulate as much as they can. And frankly, I'm not sure if they get that bond and then they get the federal money, if they don't keep the bond money. They're not going to pay it off. I don't believe it. I want to see it. Why didn't they put the language nice and clear? Not some obscure line that says, if we get it. No. Why don't you say, if this is covered, the bond will be immediately eradicated, paid off, closed out. Because if you want to keep the money and it's not for what you bonded for, number one, you're violating the conditions of the bond. But if you're going to violate the conditions of the bond, why don't you credit all the taxpayers of the city with all that money? We're the people that have been footing the bill, but heaven forbid that's going to happen, because we know that every single time we get in front of we see this in front of the council, it's the same old comedy show. Now, didn't somebody at one of the last meetings say to Mary Sahadi that if you come down here unprepared, I'm going to stop the meeting?
Yep, and that has not happened.
But she didn't have the numbers last night, did she?
No, she did not.
There were numbers that she didn't have. And did they stop the meeting?
No, they did not.
No. And did they continue on with the process without all the numbers? Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
And that's the problem. That is the problem. That, the council, somebody should have stood up and objected. Somebody should have stood up and called a point of order and said, Mr. President, you said that you were going to stop the meeting if the numbers that we needed were not at the meeting until the numbers were produced, because that's what they're there for. Bob Connor's always had the numbers. Everybody always had the numbers. This is a relatively new thing. When Cranberry Coat started that, Cranberry Coat was the guy that brought that up, elevated it to an art form. I don't have the numbers. I don't have them with me. They might be in my office, and they might be in the trunk of my car, but I don't have them. Well, what are you getting paid for? You were called down here to discuss this particular issue, and you're in charge of the money, and you can't give me an answer. Well, why are you here except taking up oxygen? That's what you're getting paid to do. You're the CFO. Well, CFO it. If you don't have the answers, who does? And this is ridiculous. And when you can hold them accountable? If the city council won't hold them accountable this coming November.
That's it. That's what we have to do.
And put the people who don't ask the questions, put the people who don't serve you, put the people who vote to blow your money, put them out of office. That's the total control.
The sad part about it is the voter in Fall River doesn't have that comprehension yet to realize that they control these people, they control their elected officials, and if they don't like what their elected officials are doing, it's time to get rid of them. So if they raise your taxes this year, if they raise your water bill this year, and they vote yes, you vote no on them. That's what you should be doing. That's what you should be doing. They raise your taxes, they raise your water bill, they raise your sewer bill, they raise your fees. You turn around and say, all you want to do is take. I'm going to take away my vote. Bye-bye. That's the way it should work. Again, the way it should work, not the way it always works. So, well, here's another lovely bit from last night's meeting. And again, we ask, where is the money? Guess which department is over budget? Take a guess. Which department is over budget? DCM.
Could it be? Wait a minute. Isn't that the department that actually subsidizes its budget from the CPA?
Yeah, very good.
I don't know. I'm getting this vision of a department that gets its money from places that's actually illegal, because the CPA is not a slush fund for a city department. It was supposed to be for very specific uses.
In all fairness,
to maintain the historical integrity. But the same department, they're over budget. Yet,
in all fairness, that was Chris
Gallagher.
They
want to increase the salary of the director, correct?
Right. In all
they
fairness,
they want to repeal all the salary caps.
Yep. It was Chris Gallagher who said that, and he said that from Buildings and Grounds. But let me tell you how much we're over budget, which is going to be interesting.
Oh, God.
We're way over budget.
I'm sitting down.
The reason why we're over budget is trash. Back to trash. We're over the trash budget, the trash tonnage that was not budgeted for. So there's not enough money. So they have a deficit. They are over $612,000 in trash and $250,000 in recycling. Almost $1 trillion deficit. And that's one department on 2 items. One item. They also, now remember, this is the same department that borrowed $650,000 to buy new trash carts. They also purchased 300 trash carts, and trash carts are about $100 a piece. So where's the rest of the money? They also bonded for a new truck and a new backhoe. So remember that. And here's the big question.
But wait, CJ. Go ahead.
We only have $1.6 million left from the CARES Act money. That's it. $1.6 million. Now, I don't remember, but I think they got $75 million. I don't think it was $750 million, as someone else reported. I thought it was $75 million. So $1.6 million. Where'd it go? Oh, that's right. Postage stamps.
Well, look, let's remind the taxpayer. This is the taxpayer flower. They show you the flower, then they spin it around and they smack you with the taxes. So, but let's remember one thing about this whole scenario, because they think that nobody has a memory. Remember when we got rid of the city-run trash, how much money we were going to save?
Yep. And we were going to save
hundreds of thousands of dollars by getting rid of, putting people out of work that had worked for the city for a long time. Put them out of work, their liabilities. We're going to save zillions of dollars. Then we took gas on the trucks. We sold them at a loss. We looked at the contract before and we said it was going to cost us a bundle because you saw the escalating costs built in. Now we're in a toilet again because of the cost of trash. And remember the geniuses that run our finances that went in front of the city council and swore on a stack of Bibles how effective and efficient this was going to be, how much money we were going to save. And right out of the get-go, right out of the gate, we lost money. We lost money on the trucks. We lost money, because we lost those employees. And then the cost began to escalate every year. And here we are again with another boondoggle that they don't care about, because you know why? It's not their money. It's your money. They're gonna get the giant pay raises. Remember, we're repealing all the caps for the biggies. The 6-figure people are all going to get big money, and they don't care. A couple of dollars for them, but the guy hanging out to his house by a thread, the guy that can't go to work yet full time, they're dying. And that's who really lives in this city. We're not talking about the people with the big jobs who live in the affluent area of the city. And we all know where that is. That's kind of where they play all the movies, isn't it?
That's it.
They don't play it in the places where people don't have a lot of money and can't afford to go to a movie. No, they play it up in the most affluent area. But the reality is that, when I look at these meetings and I want to, and I know you stuck a lot of pins in your eyes yesterday, but, you want to hit yourself in the head with a hammer, because it's like, where are these people from? Do they actually ever walk around Walmart or the streets of Fall River in the South End and the East End? No. Do they walk around in the neighborhoods full of three-deckers? No, they walk around in the single-family houses in the North End for the most part. Do they remember that this city has nearly 25% of its population living below the poverty level? And that's not my number. I didn't just make it up. Go to the United States Census Bureau, type in the city of Fall River, and it'll give you all the stats. Last one I checked, there was 23% of the people lived below the poverty level. And then you can make comparisons on that site, by the way, you can put it on and have the pages side by side. You can go Fall River, Newton, Lawrence, Lowell, and see the differences. But they pretend like we live in a city where everybody is going to get a $70,000 side job at the pier. And they're already making $200,000. And that's the problem. The problem is you look at that chamber and there seems to be no grasp on the reality of the city we live in. That the population is dying here. Yeah, the rich are getting richer, just like in the federal government. The big corporations are making tons of money, even through the pandemic. But what's happening to the backbone of cities like Fall River, small businesses? They're dying. They died here a long time ago because nobody's got any money. But there seems to be a total disregard or just ignoring the fact that look at the population of Fall River. It's not the lawyers and the millionaires and the pseudo-millionaires and people who can get a $70,000 a year side job. That's not the population of Fall River. Look at the problems we have in Fall River, the crime, the poverty. 23%. I'm going to look that up for Friday's show. I'll have all the new stats for you. But I presented that before the council numerous times where we stood in relation to things. But nobody, they have political amnesia. It's like I look at that council meeting and I go, do you realize where you're living? But apparently they don't.
No, they never do. And then I've got a correction. It's not billion, it's million. I thought I said billion. It's million. They're almost $1 million in debt. But nonetheless, it's $1 million we don't have. So remember that. This is your trash.
Look, it might as well be $1 billion in Fall River.
I know.
Yeah.
And the sad part about it is this is going to put back on the table for this mayor to discuss paying for trash again. Because $1 million deficit is substantial. And again, somebody's going to have to talk about paying for trash. So we're right back at paying for trash again. And that's the sad part about it. My opinion is they should do like many, many, many communities do across the country. And that's have private trash haulers on each property. You pay, that way you pay for your trash hauling. And you'll understand how much you pay. When I was having my trash hauled privately, I was paying $60 a month just for trash. $60 a month. So it goes away fast. Well, we're out of time. I got to say goodbye. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Remember, stay safe, stay angry, wear your mask. Have a good